This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Howdy. Well, I hope everyone's doing super dandy today, because for today's video, we are gonna be working on something exciting. Recently, these last few months, I have been taking a pattern making course to improve my pattern making skills. And for my final project, I am supposed to create something that is my own design, and it's gonna fit me. I'm pretty much manipulating the pattern block I made. Come on. These things. These are pattern pieces, and if you cut them out and sew them together, it will fit my body perfectly. Once you have pattern blocks like this, you can actually just use this to make pretty much any pattern you want. So for my final project, I drew out this design right here, but I'm still in the process of actually making the pattern pieces for this. But before we can even think about the final project, we gotta get the patterns. So for the bottom of the top, I want it to have like a nice poof, you know? I want it to be poofy. But the piece I made, I don't know if that's poofy enough. I feel like I need it more. So I'm gonna redo it.
So typically, if you want a poofier bottom, a skirt, or anything, you do a slash and spread method. But because I want it super poofy, I'm taking the slash and spread method to a new level where I'm actually cutting them apart and then spreading them out evenly and then drawing the pattern from there. And that will give you an even pattern that you can just gather, and it'll fit the top piece of my bodice. But for the back of the top, I'm keeping it super simple where I am just replicating my bodice block for the top back. But for the bottom back where the poof is gonna be, I am just taking the front poof and redrawing it, except straighten out the top line so it's just straight across my back.
So we're just gonna take a quick break from the video because today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. So personally, I started using Squarespace back in college when I was going to design school, and I created my own business for my art. They were super easy to use to create a nice, professional, beautiful website to showcase all my art. One of my favorite features on Squarespace is that you can sell digital prints or patterns and also sell physical products. Also, having a website that displays your products or your art beautifully is key. That's why I love their automatic scaling, because whether you're on a phone or your computer, your website looks amazing. And for those who have an Instagram or other social media and love sharing their photos of their products or art, you can also connect it to your website so everyone else who visits your website can see your beautiful photos. Making a website with Squarespace is super easy, so you guys want to try it out and make your own website. I have a coupon for you guys. Just use Jenna Phipps at checkout for 10% off, or my link down below in the description for 10% off your first website or domain. Here are all of my pieces. I wanted to show you this. This is the top I'm working on right now for my draft, because I don't want to use my nice, beautiful, amazing fabric that I have put aside for this project, because I might need to adjust this pattern a few times, possibly. So let's go into my cutting room, aka my dining table, to cut all these pieces out. Oh, you're still on, I forgot about you. So because this is a giraffe piece, I really don't care if the plaid matches up, so I'm just gonna cut the pieces wherever. It's not gonna be worn this top, it's just to see if each piece of my pattern pieces are good. That's the whole purpose of this. So I'm just cutting it out without even ironing it. I'm taking a lot of shortcuts here, which I don't recommend. Yeah, iron your fabric before you cut them out. So definitely do as I say and not as I do. Iron your fabric before you cut out the pieces, not like me and I iron them after. So pattern pieces are cut out. Ta-da! So I'm gonna quickly sew them all together. I'm not gonna worry about the edges, the seams too much, like a frame. It's just the structure I'm looking for. So
I did sew her quite quickly, so it's definitely not my best work on the inside, but it's not that bad for a first mock-up. And I did notice a few mistakes as I was going, like I didn't gather it to like the perfect measurements, so it was a little hard sewing it on. And also, I cut this in 2 pieces when this should just be 1 front, 2 in the back. So yeah, this bulge shouldn't be there. But other than that, she looks pretty cute and she fits really good. Anyways, I am thinking I can just, you know, tidy up my final pattern, tidy her up, and then I can sew the final piece. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut out the green fabric that is on the table right now. And I am also going to knit 2 sleeves with some yarn. So my gut is telling me, Jenna, you should just use white, do white sleeves. But my other gut is telling me that's boring. My second gut, I think it's telling me blue and maybe another color. I don't know what color to choose. So I have all my pieces cut out, notched, darted, but it's late. It's dark outside, so I don't like sewing when it's dark and when it's late because I tend not to do very good work at night on my sewing machine, so we're gonna sit on the couch and do some crochet. I don't remember if I said if I was gonna do crochet sleeves, did I? Knit 2 sleeves. I don't know, but I change my mind every 30 seconds because I just told you I wanted to do 2 blue sleeves made with this one yellow, but now I'm deciding I want to do 2 colorful sleeves. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight. Good morning! I woke up this morning, had a big bowl of Vector cereal, some fruit, and a piece of bread. I don't know, I was just craving like a plain piece of bread, not toast, just a piece of bread. Anyways, last night I ended up working on the sleeve. I don't really know if she's done yet, but I'm pretty satisfied with her for the time being until I have my top done, and then I can really analyze it to see if I even like it. I don't know, a lot of questions going through my mind about it, so we're just gonna put it on the side, and I'm gonna start off the day by sewing this top. I'm just starting off by doing all the darts, which I only have 2 darts for this top. And then once I'm done these, then I'll start putting all the pieces together. Beautiful. Bam, bam, turkey chicken. I pressed it. That's why it looks really good. It looks honestly so perfect. Like, look at that. Perfectly lined up. Unfortunately, that was the easy part, but now we gotta move on to the difficult part where I need to gather this skirt bottom piece perfectly. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of gathering, so I'm gonna try a different technique because I feel like my last technique was the reason why I wasn't very good at gathering. First stitch done, or straight stitch, Can you see? Can you see? 2 rows, done. I'm not gonna say they're great, but you know, 2 rows are done. So now it should be easier to just pull the ends here and gather. Ooh. So good news, the bottom of my top looks like a perfect drape. Look at her! I finally found my gathering technique. I'm honestly so impressed with myself right now because every single gather lined up perfectly
with the piece it's actually supposed to, and that just never happens for me. Usually it's way too big or way too small, and then I just like kind of makeshift it because usually I'm too lazy to actually try to figure it out. But man, things are going well today, and that makes me a little nervous because they never go this well. So we do have a little bit of a setback here because when I was pressing out my seams, I did notice it still has that bubble here right in the center where it doesn't really gather flat. Right there. So it wasn't just me not being very good at sewing my draft, it's a design flaw. So I think there's an easy solution where I pretty much just have to tuck this upwards. So I'm just gonna seam rip the center there and then re-sew it. All fixed. It looks way better now. It definitely lays a lot. It looks better, okay? So now that that's done, I am just going to sew all my pieces together. So it does not matter if I'm doing the side seams first or the top, the shoulders. As long as they're all on, it doesn't matter. The seams aren't pressed yet, but look at this top. Isn't this so cute? And it's honestly just mind-blowing that I made this. I made my own patterns from scratch. I didn't even drape it. Like, I drew these pieces and sewed them together, and it looks like this. Does anybody remember my last video where I hit the jackpot when it came to my fabric and the matching color zipper? Anyone remember that? Well, this is the complete opposite situation. This was the closest zipper that would work for my fabric. I forgot to finish the edges before I put the zipper in. So now I gotta take out my third machine and zigzag stitch the edges because it won't fit in my serger. Look at my workstation. So many machines. So it definitely doesn't look very pretty, but it does the job. Oops. This looks so cute. It looks so cute. It fits great. It's a comfy fit. It's my favorite color. Like, what more can we want? No, I was wrong. That looks really cute. I like it. I like it. Well, now that it's settled that I'm gonna be doing crochet sleeves, I can now sit on my couch, relax, crochet for the next few hours, and finish the other sleeve and the collar, because I also want to crochet a collar. But for the other sleeve, I am just replicating this. I'm not gonna be fancy and do multiple colors, because it probably wouldn't turn out that good if I tried to, you know, be fancy. So just making the same thing again. Both the sleeves are done, and it only took me like probably 6 hours to do both of these, but worth it. I need to work on the collar, which I could just do the fabric, you know, this fabric, do that as a collar, but I'm really thinking crochet collar will just tie the whole piece together. I have green or pink. Both look really pretty with the green fabric, so let's get Benson to decide. It is 4:57. Benson usually eats at 5 o'clock. He starts begging me for food at 4. So he's very antsy right now to get some food. So we're gonna take 2 identical treats and put it on both of these yarns and see which one he chooses. So I have Benson's treats right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 1 treat here and 1 treat here, and whichever one he takes first, that's the yarn color we're gonna use for the collar. Actually, this kind of looks like cheesecake chunks from Dairy Queen, you know, like their cheesecake blizzard. He's eyeing the green right now. Oh, okay, green. It's green. So for the collar, I'm thinking double crochet. Just basic double crochet. And maybe a little pink trim or a little white trim at the top, just to give it a little extra. I have never sewn crochet to a garment, or at least a woven garment like this, so I don't really know what to do. Serge the edges first. Should I just pin it right sides together and sew it? Is that weird, sewing crochet? So I have the collar pinned right side together, and I'm just gonna do a straight stitch on top, just the very edge there, probably like a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then when I flip it up, hopefully it looks good. So the collar is sewn on, and I'm not gonna leave it just like this on the inside because it does have the flap upwards. This is what it's going to look like, which I'm not a huge fan of, so I'm just gonna take some bias tape and sew it along the seam here, and then I will sew the bias tape upwards towards the top of the collar. And that should give it a little bit more structure, as well as, it'll just look nicer. Just by having this bias tape there, like, it feels very structured. Okay, you guys ready for the second to last step? Let's add in the sleeves, which I'm low-key still a little nervous that when I add these, it's just gonna make the top look ugly. For all the regulars on this channel, you probably know my best work is not done at nighttime. That is usually when I make lots of mistakes because I'm tired. My bedtime's like 9 o'clock. So I made the executive decision last night, and I decided to finish my top this morning, which I think is the smartest because the last step is just hemming the bottom, and yeah, it's not my favorite part. So I just knew I was gonna cut some corners and it wouldn't turn out that nice, and I want the hem to be nice because I worked really hard on this top. I love it, it's beautiful, and I just need it to be Good morning, Besson. Good morning. So for hemming of this top, what I like to do is I like to fold it over once, just a wee little bit, and then I fold it over once more, iron it down. So you gotta do 2 loops of ironing, which is kind of a pain, but it's worth it because it looks way better in the end. And then once you have it ironed over twice, there is no raw edges, then I just take it to my sewing machine and do a straight stitch. It's kind of risky being this close to the iron. She's done! Oh my goodness. She's done. I can't believe she's done. She's finally done. And honestly, I was just out in the living room just staring at her for like 15 minutes because I am just so proud of this top. Look at this. Look at those sleeves. I'm just so happy with it. I'm so happy. So I'm gonna try it on. Here she is on me. She fits me obviously a lot better than my Manny over here because my Manny has big boobs and a little waist. Meanwhile, me, I'm a tree trunk. I have no boobs and I have no curves. So she fits me perfect, which she should be because I made her from a block that's custom to me, not custom for my Manny. You get it. But overall, she fits amazing. She is comfy. Like, these sleeves are so comfy. It is so airy and breezy. It's Jenna. Like, you look at this top and you think, it's Jenna. It's Jenna. But honestly, I am just kind of mind blown that I have gotten to this point where I can legit just draw something on my iPad and then create it to fit me perfectly. It's incredible.
is very incredible. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the process of me starting with a pattern and then getting to this point. It was quite the journey, and I'm thinking about actually making a pattern for this top, maybe with the crochet. Maybe there's two patterns, one with the crochet sleeves and one with just the puff sleeves, because originally I was just gonna do plain puff sleeves, which I'm still gonna do because the pattern's not perfect yet, but we're this close. So if you guys want me to make a pattern, comment down below. But that is it. That is it. It is Sunday morning. I have not had my morning poop and I really gotta go now. So I'm just gonna say have a great rest of your day and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye!